All right, so we are almost ready to get started with this tutorial. And so the next thing that we need to do is we need to install Docker Desktop. Now, you don't have to use Docker. You can just run your code from your desktop using Python. But I do find that Docker makes it easy for us um, to use pre-built environments so that we can essentially avoid having to reconfigure things and to install dependencies locally on our desktop and things like that. So we're going to be using Docker in these steps that we're going to follow throughout this tutorial. But just know that you don't actually have to use Docker. You can just run it from your desktop and still use ngrok, and that's not a problem. You can also deploy it to Heroku or Amazon or whatever cloud provider you prefer. I just like using Docker to keep things repeatable and easier to maintain. So the first thing that you'll want to do when you get to Docker, if you just go to docker.com, is you'll want to go ahead and create an account. You're going to need that account as you run Docker Desktop, especially if you want to use features like Docker Hub and Docker Swarm and all that fun stuff. Obviously, we won't be doing that, and this is not a Docker tutorial, and so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about the power or the abilities that you have with Docker. But for these purposes, you do need to have Docker Desktop running on your desktop. And so basically, you'll want to go with the stable. You can get it for Windows, you can get it for Linux, you can get it for Mac OS. I already have this installed, but I would just click stable for Mac OS and it would download it, and it downloads a disk image, which then you run and you install Docker. Um, if you have any questions, you can always ask on office hours or um, during the week. You can just ask in the course. But essentially, it's a typical download and install. So you download it and you install it. Once you have done that, it's just a matter of running it. So you go into your apps and you click Docker, and what you get is this handy dandy little thing up here. And so if I click this and I click Dashboard, and I should point out the first time you run it, you will need to log in. I'm already logged in, but this would normally say log in. You click that, it takes you to your browser. You log in with the account you created, and then it brings you back. And so I'm going to click Dashboard, and that will bring up the Docker dashboard. And so let me get rid of this artifact. I'll pretend we didn't see that. And so now we have no Dockers running, and we can go to our terminal, and we can type Docker, and you should get this help screen. And so now we have Docker installed, and we are ready to go.